Hey everybody, we're back with another Skyrim tier list. Have you ever wondered what is the best player home in Skyrim? We're going to let you know here. Also, I'm going to include the Creation Club houses in here as well. I'm going to add them in the end, and we'll jump right in here in a second. All right, so to lay down some kind of ground rules here, we're going to go through the traditional player homes, that being all of the vanilla player homes, and then I'm going to throw Severin Manor in there. Severin Manor is part of the Dragonborn DLC. After that, we'll have the 3 Hearthfire houses, and then after that, we'll have all of the Creation Club houses. So how we're going to do this tier list is I'm going to rank the first 6 together, because I think they're the most similar, and then we'll rank the 3 Hearthfire houses, because they're kind of in a class of their own. And then we will rank all of the Creation Club houses. And in the end, we'll have one final ranking. Also, shout out to our subscriber. I'm going to throw him up on the screen here. He's been asking for this video, so that's why we're doing the video now. Also, I will try to, in editing, throw up some clips on the screen and kind of add context maybe to some of the things that I say, including videos of the walking around in the interior, especially useful for the Creation Club homes, because a lot of people probably haven't bought, or I wouldn't even say bought, because most of the Creation Club homes you don't even actually buy. So I'll say, the visual aid might be the most helpful for the Creation Club homes. I think a lot of players, for the most part, have maybe purchased all of the houses. I have definitely purchased all of the vanilla houses, actually really all of the houses. My only thing is I did have to go back and I had to look through some of the Creation Club houses. Some of them I didn't have a chance to actually kind of stumble upon naturally, so I kind of had to go back and see, like, okay, what does this look like on the interior, and I'm going to have to rank it off of that. But I know not everybody has used all of the houses. Obviously, I normally do these tier lists with somebody else. I'm doing this one by myself. The reason is because nobody else actually has been through all of the houses to help me rank it. So with all that being said, last final thing, if you enjoy this kind of content, tier lists, even long form videos, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and comment. It helps the algorithm a ton. Other thing to note, kind of for the channel and anybody who's subscribing, Tuesdays is where we do our short form. It's generally some kind of ranking or tier list. Sometimes they end up being really long, so I call it short form, but it's more of like the lower effort video is probably a better way of saying it, because a tier list isn't very hard to edit. I kind of just cut it up, and if I sound like an idiot for a second, I might cut it out and whatever that might be. And then the Friday video is generally like the long form, video that takes me all week to make. So if you haven't, check out the 7 levels of fantasy if you're into fantasy stuff, because the channel, really, we're here, it's game dev, fantasy in general, and then lots of Elder Scrolls stuff. So it's fantasy in general with a highlight on Elder Scrolls if this is your first time tuning in. And then we do a little game dev stuff, because we do develop our own game, Winterreach Emporium, which is a fantasy game. The link is in the description to it. It's going to be on Steam only. And you can give it a wish list if it looks good to you. Even if you're not going to buy it, the wish list definitely helps kind of the Steam algorithm. And that's all of the intro. I don't want to waste too much time on the intro, and we can jump right into the houses. And I'll let you guys know, I kind of have a spicy take on the houses. And the way I want to rank these houses is I'm not going to factor in the price, because I really just want to say what is the best house. So I'm not going to factor in the price. And I think the other thing that is important is I want to try not to... It's hard to say I'm not going to factor in the city, because we're definitely going to factor in the city, but this isn't like a city ranking. It's a player home ranking. So we're just going to rank the player home itself. Not say like... Even though I think it is super high tier, let me say this, and this is why we're talking about it now, but Breezehome is our first house. Whiterun is obviously the best city. Breezehome is probably obviously not the best house, and I think that that's probably not too controversial. I think a lot of people, when you say what are the best houses, everybody will probably say Breezehome. It's kind of generally like the starter house. It's the house that everybody's used, and it's probably like the most popular house for sure. Also, that kind of like the barrier to entry, again, I'm not factoring in the price, but the reason that probably everybody's played it is because it is also like the cheapest house. That being said, if you could just take the houses and put any house here, you probably wouldn't actually pick the Breezehome house. And it's probably the reason that the like Breezehome kind of like recreation mod, like I know the Eleonora one is really popular, but where you kind of get like the modded Breezehome is like the most popular player home mod, is because Breezehome itself is generally not that great. And with that being said, I think the spicy take, maybe not even spicy, I think it's kind of like I'm sure, you know, people might disagree in the comments, but I think the actual like true take is that Breezehome is actually on the lower end of the houses. If you take out the fact that it's in Whiterun, obviously. If you don't take that out, it's like the best house, because like you want your house to be in Whiterun. With all that being said, I actually think Breezehome is pretty low. Maybe not the most low. I think I have some other spicy takes. I think this is going to be like a super subjective list. I'm going to like totally contradict myself like 10 times, by the way, just to give you guys a quick warning. Because I'm going to say I'm not going to factor in the city, and then I'm going to factor in the city later. But I think Breezehome is like B tier. I mean, I think it's like super synonymous. Like if you talk about like the factor of like, oh, like everybody knows Breezehome, then yeah, it's like goated for sure. But if you're like, just like the vibe of the house is okay. But I just really think like it needs the mod to be a good house, because without it, it's kind of like the worst house. I don't know. I would say this is probably... But what if I factor in the mod? Because are we saying vanilla Skyrim? I don't know. It's a tough one. Actually, all right, Breezehome's A tier. I'm going to factor in the city a little bit. I just said all of that stuff for nothing. All of the vanilla houses I actually love. When I say vanilla too, I mean like the base Skyrim. I mean just like the Skyrim houses that are like not like total mods or like the Creation Club stuff. Then I also throw that Severin Manor in there because it's like the traditional style house. Anyway, next is Hjerim. And I think that this is actually a really good house. I would probably say, you know, I'm a big Stormcloak guy. I did a video too telling you why the Stormcloaks should win. Don't tell me in the comments on this. Watch that video and then listen to my arguments. But I'll say Hjerim is probably... All right, quick cut. Sorry, was getting a message. All right, so like I said about Hjerim, I did a video on Stormcloaks. I'm a huge Stormcloak guy. I actually really, really like Windhelm. I think like overall, maybe like traditionally, I know a lot of people don't like Windhelm, and it's probably like one of like the least favorite cities for people. I actually really enjoy Windhelm. I mean, I think it's actually a really cool city. With that being said, though, I think Hjerim has a really cool vibe, and I think that the Blood on the Ice quest, because it is kind of tied to it in a way, is actually the coolest quest to get a player home. So with all that being said, I'm about to say that Hjerim is actually like everything factored in. It's so hard because I'm just being like so inconsistent with how I'm ranking this, but if I just go off my vibe, it's goated. To me, it's like the best house, but can I justify putting it as the best house? It's cozy and snowy, and that's what I like. That's what I like in Skyrim. Now, if that's not your thing, then I totally get it. But Hjerim has kind of always been my favorite. Oh man, guys. All right, Hjerim is goated. There, I said it. Maybe it's not. Yeah, we'll put it here for the time being. Actually, like I said, we're about to have an issue because I actually like all the vanilla player homes. All right, because up next is actually Honeyside, which I love Honeyside too. Riften is actually my favorite city. I know like Windhelm is like the city that you like. It's in the center of the map. It's like has a really nice layout. Everybody remembers it. It's really easy to navigate. There's 2 blacksmiths. I think that's like a big part of like why Windhelm is like so good. That, and it's just a pretty city. And then there was also like that glitch chest there, so like it just always behooved you to like be there constantly. But with that being said, Riften is actually like my favorite city. Like the vibe of Riften. I like how like all the little markets are there. I like kind of the way it looks. I think everything's really cool about Riften, even though I think they kind of missed the mark with like how Riften feels, because it doesn't actually like feel like a crime city when you first walk in there. It kind of just feels like a city that's like on the water. But I do really, really like Honeyside. But with that being said, I don't think that Honeyside is as good as Hjerim, and I don't think that Honeyside is as good as Breezehome. But I do think it's like... Well, yeah, I would probably say... I think it's pretty good, actually. I'm going to say Honeyside is B tier. And I feel pretty good about that. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Even though I think there's an argument that Honeyside's higher. But I'm going to say that it's for now it's B tier. Up next is Proudspire Manor. Again, I said I'm not going to factor in the price, but it is like super overpriced for what it is, I think. It's also in a weird part of... It's not in a weird part. It's kind of in the part that all the houses are in, but Solitude is not a great city to navigate. I think is a big issue with like the Solitude houses and like spending a lot of time in Solitude. The house itself is probably the nicest on the inside. It does look like the Solitude houses, which is kind of like more of like the upscale kind of like a bit more stone to it, but still plenty of wood. I do like the wood kind of like coziness of like I said, Hjerim is so high for me, and then Honeyside is really high for that. Maybe it's not high enough. I mean, I'm almost kind of like questioning my Honeyside placement here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put Honeyside up above Breezehome because I think as a house, Honeyside is better than Breezehome for sure. But we'll put them both up in A tier because I actually like Honeyside probably a little bit better than Breezehome as a house. Maybe not like when you factor in everything else, but this is supposed to be a house tier list. And on to Proudspire Manor. I think it's really good. It's really big. I think there's lots of downsides with the house. It's almost like too big that it's like your stuff is kind of like spread randomly throughout the house. There's this thing with like having like a small house. Like I used to play this like modded house called Rhoda, and it's like a just a small little house that was outside of Windhelm, and everything is like totally within reach, which is kind of how like I like my house to be. Hjerim even feels a little bit big sometimes. Pause, but I think that there's a lot of downsides for Proudspire Manor, but it's so hard to say that it's a bad house because it's huge and it looks really nice. And if your play style is like, I'm this rich guy, like Proudspire Manor is like the only house that you really get that feeling. I mean, we have plenty of stuff that can be low. I don't feel the worst about putting Proudspire Manor up here right behind Breezehome. My style is I like generally the smaller houses better, and then Hjerim is like the exception. So Proudspire Manor is going to be at A tier. And then up next for me is Vlindrel Hall. Okay, and Vlindrel Hall is the Markarth house. Again, try not to rank the cities here, but I hate the way... I know Markarth looks really cool, and I do think it looks really cool, but it is the worst city to navigate, hands down. Like, it's not even close. It is, like, actually hell to navigate. Like, all of the shops are across the... Like, the blacksmith is all the way across the entire city from, like, the general store. Like, all of the shops that you would go to are, like, completely out of the way. Or, like, in random parts of the city, the house is in a weird spot in relation to everything else. To me, this house is the worst. And then also the inside. If you like a dwarven kind of looking thing, yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't like the Dwemer stuff typically at all. More like the ruins than I guess like the lore. The lore is cool. I don't care for, like, to navigate the ruins. And then like all like the beds are like made of stone. Like, this is the thing that has always thrown me off. Like, even though we live in this stone place, can we like make the bed out of wood, please? All the tables are wood. Can we make this the table out of stone and have the bed be wood? Always throws me off. I think Vlindrel Hall is like C tier, borderline F tier. I don't think I'm gonna put anything in F tier because I actually really, to be honest, I don't really dislike any player homes. It's kind of hard to dislike a fantasy house, but Vlindrel Hall is not good. And then on that note, Severin Manor is a little underrated. I will say, like, having your house in Raven Rock, I think the first time I bought this house, I was shocked by how nice like how nice it was. I think if you're like a dark elf, this is like the house to have. The only issue is that it's like in Raven Rock, which is not like the biggest issue. But if you do like, I guess it's not the biggest issue. I guess it doesn't really make any difference at all if you're going to fast travel, but I think Severin Manor is pretty cool. I just don't think it's on the level as the other 4, and I would say it's B tier. There's not so much to say about this one. This one is cool, and it has its own little vibe, and the town has its own little vibe. The town's not necessarily like a bad town. It's actually a pretty nice little town. Raven Rock is, but that's what I would say about it. Feels pretty good about this. The only thing, Honeyside, like I said, is A tier. Hjerim, goated. Breezehome, A tier. Proudspire Manor, A tier. I wouldn't get too hung up about the ordering of the A tier. I do think that that's the order that I would buy them in, personally, which obviously at this point is, as you know, it's super subjective, and then there's so many different things you can factor in. Just what I've chose to factor in is kind of what's leading me to here. This is generally speaking, like, this is the order that I would buy the houses in, personally. And then next, we'll talk about the Hearthfire houses. So obviously the Hearthfire houses, you do the little quest, and then you get to go build them. They're all pretty much the same house, so it's really just the location. So which location do you like the best? And for me, it's really easy. And I'm not ranking, I wouldn't use these rankings against the general houses, because all of these houses are significantly better than the normal houses. If you just like take the house, an example. Granted, the fact that you're like outside of the city and you could rank that, as its own thing, but you can kind of get everything stocked here. These houses, the Hearthfire houses, granted its entire DLC is supposed to be about like adding houses. So obviously they should be better than the vanilla houses. So it's not really like a huge prop, but they are better than the vanilla houses. With that being said, I think that there's only one way to rank these, and it's Lakeside Manor is goated. That's the Falkreath one. It's right by the Lake Ilanata. It's in the best spot. It's like a beautiful looking place. It's definitely the best one. Hellenhardt Hall is C tier, actually. It's because Lakeside Manor is so good. These other ones suffer. But Hellenhardt Hall is in the Pale. It's, it's like snowy, but it's not like in the snowiest area of the Pale. It's still close to the swamp, which I kind of really don't like. And I would like it a lot better if it was just in like a snowy area. You do a 360, all you can see is snow. But if I recall, you do a 360 and you can see the swamp, which always takes me out of like the snowy area. And then Windhelm Manor is in the absolute worst place possible. It's like in the swamp, which I don't know why you would ever want a house here unless you were like doing like maybe like a vampire, or like if you were like role playing somebody who like makes terrible decisions about like where to put their house, maybe you would put your house there for that reason. But all those things being kind of said, I think that this is the only real ranking, because like I think Lakeside Manor isn't a tier above the other ones, it's multiple tiers above the other ones. Like you'd have to let me know in the comments why you like Windhelm Manor. If there's a human being out there who says that Windhelm Manor is like the goated Hearthfire house, you have to let me know, because I literally can't even comprehend. My brain just can't comprehend it. My small Stormcloak brain literally just can't comprehend how Windhelm Manor could be the top house in Hearthfire DLC. And with that being said, we're gonna do a quick cut, and then I'm gonna have all of the different Creation Club houses here at the end. And we're going to jump right into the Creation Club houses here in a second. All right, and we're back. We're going to do this last push and get all of the different Creation Club houses. So I'll have a little video up for the Creation Club houses specifically, because I know a lot of players probably haven't actually played all of the Creation Club houses. And that's fine, because I haven't really they're not all ingrained in my head. So I have seen them all, but they're not really all ingrained in my head as like, well, this is something that I played. Some of them are just like, I found it, and then I saw it, and then I said, yeah, I didn't really care for that, and then I left. So that's kind of my little, PSA. But the first one we're talking about is Hjerim. And Hjerim is actually really, really cool. It's in the Reach, and I really like it as like a longhouse kind of style house. You'll see in the video kind of what it looks like. It's a pretty straightforward one to describe. It's almost like has like a Jorvaskr vibe. I'm kind of going to rank these, I'll say, because these are all better for the most part than the vanilla player homes. So I would, in your head, isolate these from the rankings. Because when I'm saying it's not necessarily fair. So I'm going to tack them on here at the end. So when you look at like the left or right, kind of just keep that in mind. But I'm going to say Hjerim is It's A tier. It's pretty good. I think it's a pretty solid house. Like I said, I like the vibe. I think the only thing is, the issue is that it's in the Reach. I don't really care for anything in the Reach. I don't care for the Reach as a whole. Obviously, you can tell with my Markarth take, which I know might be like maybe blasphemous, because I know a lot of people love the Reach or Markarth in general, but I don't really care for it. Up next is Mirewatch, and Mirewatch is... Oh man, I can't even actually recall specifically where it is. Where is Mirewatch? It's like a Winterhold kind of. Oh, it's in Morthal. Okay. It's like a mage house essentially. It looks a lot like the Archmage quarters in a weird way, but it's better than the Archmage quarters. If you ever wish that the Archmage quarters were like their own house, that's kind of Mirewatch. I will say, not something particularly that I actually care for. It's a little underwhelming. It's kind of small in a good way, but I'll say that Mirewatch is B tier. I'm going to say too, the Creation Club rankings are a little bit quicker because there's not as much stakes on it. It's Creation Club, to each their own. I think the base game rankings are way more important, but I wanted to rank these two because I think they're fun to rank. Up next is Shadowfoot Sanctum. So Shadowfoot Sanctum is actually in the Radaway, if I recall, if I have it up over here. Yeah, it's in the Radaway. And it's kind of like it's like a nice house in the Radaway, or a nice version of a house. Also, if I recall, I think it has tons of like, does this have like tons of display racks? Because I think I got this one decked out, and I want to say it was this house. Sorry, I have to pull up a picture here and just, yeah, this one has tons of mannequins. This one's actually really good. I really like it. Maybe it's not as high. I think it's better than Hjerim. Hjerim's prettier though. I guess it kind of depends on what you're ranking it based on. I'm gonna say Hjerim is better. It's far prettier. But as like a roleplay kind of one, Shadowfoot Sanctum is probably better. I'm just gonna say Shadowfoot Sanctum's better. All of the mannequins are just so... Wow, no, Hjerim's better. Alright, that's my last one. Hjerim's better. This next one, I'm not gonna say. It is like a dwarven word. It's gonna be up on the screen. I'm gonna throw it up here if you want to Google it. I don't like the stuff. You guys know. Alright, like I said, the bed here in this one isn't actually stone though. So to be fair, it's not gonna go in... It's not gonna go too low because the bed's not stone, but we're gonna put this one... we're gonna put this one in B tier, and I feel pretty good. It's actually like the nicest. It's like a better Vlindrel hall, which it should be, to be fair. But up next is Bloodchill Cavern or Bloodchill Manor. I'm not sure if it's the same or different things. Let me pull it up over here and just double check and make sure, because I have Bloodchill Manor up over here. And am I making a mistake, or is this making a mistake? Is the real question. Oh, sorry, guys. Bloodchill Cavern. Let me make sure that these are the same thing. Are these not the same thing? Oh, they are the same thing. Yeah, okay, they are the same thing. Gotcha. Okay, so Bloodchill Manor is inside Bloodchill Cavern. Okay, cool. This is like the edgy vampire house. I think this is something that Skyrim actually like definitely needed. I don't like this kind of stuff, but Skyrim definitely needed it. I'm going to say it's probably actually... I want to put it in A tier. Okay, I'm going to put it in A tier. Bloodchill Manor. On here it's Cavern, but it's kind of Manor. It's edgy. It's your edgy vampire house. It's pretty nice, but it's not my kind of thing. But it's good. And up next is super goated Tundra Homestead. I think this is the best Creation Club house, so spoiler alert. I don't think anything's better than this Creation Club wise. I think it's like the prettiest looking. It's in a good spot. Just everything about the Tundra Homestead is top tier. I mean, sorry, I'm pulling up something else just to... Yeah, East to Whiterun. I mean... How could it be better than this house? I think this is obviously the best one of the Creation Club houses. Up next is Goldenhills Plantation. This is F tier, by the way. This is like the worst goddamn house in the world. In my playthrough, that's on the that's on the channel here, is my novice playthrough. My novice is like exploded. So if you're wondering why I haven't made any more in a long time, that's why. It's just gotten very buggy. I might have done something wrong with the installation, and I did an update, and I've had a lot of bugs. So I will say the Goldenhills Plantation is a cool little quest to do. Aside from that, it's an ugly house. The things around it are ugly. You can go hire a bunch of stuff or whatever, but I think this is like the worst. I think you can do a lot with it though, apparently down the line, but I just completely lost interest very early. Up next is Gallows Hall, and let me make sure that this is the one that I'm thinking that it is, because I think it's Booty Cheeks. Gallows Hall. What is going on here? Gallows Hall, the place, obviously. Yes, Gallows Hall. This is one I walked in, I kind of looked at it, and I was like, I literally can't be bothered to do this. I would say at least Goldenhills Plantation. Well, if I had to pick one as a house, I might pick Gallows Hall, actually. I'm going to put Gallows Hall above Goldenhills Plantation. I couldn't be bothered. Sorry, Gallows Hall, if that's a terrible take, just because my attention span is too short. Sorry, but I looked at it and I said, yeah, it's just not for me. So Gallows Hall is F tier. And then last is Debian's Dread. And my first thought is to put this in bottom of F because it could have been the coolest house, and then instead it's very underwhelming. And I'll tell you, something that I hate more than like something not being good is something that should have been good and it's not good. And I think I'm actually going to stick with that and say Debian's Dread is the worst. The house doesn't look good. I constantly get this bug where it's like steamy inside of the freaking boat. Right, it's a house that's a boat. I get this. I want to say it's a bug. I hope it's a bug, but I have like mist in my boat 24/7. It makes the whole house look disgusting. Debian's Dread is the absolute worst. And with all that being said, that is the tier list ranking. It's good to add the Creation Club. I know people who haven't played Skyrim in a long time probably haven't even like thought of the Creation Club houses being a thing, like as like part of the game, but if you have the Anniversary Edition, all of the Creation Club stuff is like included. So I figured it was going to be good to include in the ranking. With that being said, that is the entirety of the ranking. If you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, subscribe. If you didn't enjoy the video, please also just like and subscribe. Maybe don't comment if you didn't like it. Sorry. Let me know what your favorite house is in the comment. I'm more interested to hear what your favorite house is than you guys telling me why I rank something wrong. So tell me what your favorite house is. Tell me why it's your favorite house. That's actually what I'd be more interested in hearing. But like I said, I do read all the comments. And with all that being said, check out our game, Witch Rich Emporium. Give it a wish list. Make sure you subscribe if this is your first. If you've watched more than just one of my videos, subscribe. It's a good metric for me to see if people are enjoying the videos. And with all that being said, have a good day. Bye, guys.